Camilo Alfaro.
Ron Doron. And we are here at the U.S. launch of the BMW i3, their first mass-produced all-electric vehicle.
And we're driving, we just drove from Marina del Rey, and we're on our way back to the hotel in downtown Los Angeles for the Los Angeles Auto Show. Now, we're driving this vehicle back, and one of the things that I'm noticing is Ron was driving a little aggressive in the beginning, so now we only have about halfway battery. So because of that, one of the things that makes me nervous in an all-electrical car is the fact that you can run out of battery.
Well, you have about 100-mile range in this vehicle, Camilo, and most people, whether they believe it or not, rarely drive over 100 miles. I'm saying most people in a single day. Also, if you're commuting, you probably don't have a 100-mile commute, and there's a good chance there's a charging station, depending on what company you work for, and that's going to start evolving. The whole infrastructure is going to keep growing and growing. If you look at the number of stations each year, it just keeps growing exponentially. The range extender, which Camilo thinks you need, costs about $3,000.
It's very needed.
Yeah, $3,000 adds about 300 pounds of weight, so it's not going to cost you more. You're also going to have a less efficient electric vehicle, and that's really not the point of this car. We'll see. We'll see what percentage of people are willing to spend money.
Why would the range extender make it less efficient? I mean,
because it's more weight. So when you're in all-electric power, when you add 300 pounds into a vehicle, because the reason this car only weighs about 2,900 pounds is because BMW made it as such. You know, a lot of recycled materials, and it's all about
all this recycled material. I mean, you have the carbon fiber, the plastic reinforced carbon fiber. I mean, it's very much, and you can tell it's a lightweight vehicle. I mean, feels very nimble, it feels very good on the road. I agree with you, but to have that peace of mind, I mean, what if, I mean, you're driving from here to you know, Santa Barbara, or not even just Santa Barbara. I mean, charging a vehicle isn't a quick fix like putting gas into a vehicle.
It's not. It takes time.
It takes time,
depending on if you have a 110, 220, or even a 440 charge. But the point is, you have to decide as a consumer, how are you going to use your vehicle? And what I'm saying is most people don't drive more than 50 miles a day.
Okay, so let's say that you were to purchase this car. How would you use this vehicle?
I would use this as my city car. Living in Orange County, I probably would not risk coming to LA and back in a single day, because that would really push that 100-mile range.
So what would be your other car at home that you would use?
Well, I would either make sure that where I'm going has a charging station so I could get that extra charge. I would definitely use the Eco Pro mode, and you know what? I have an old SUV that gets 12 miles to the gallon that sits in my garage anyway. So that would be my long-range vehicle. But the number of times that I've needed to drive more than 100 miles in the last year, I could probably count on my hand. I just haven't driven that much.
Well, one of the things that, for example, with Tesla, one of the things that really got to Tesla was this journalist that drove, I think, from Washington to New York, and it was the dead of winter, and he stopped at the charging stations and whatnot, and he still ran out of juice. So, I mean,
it's true.
Driving a car really does take more planification. It's not like you can just jump in the car now and say, you know what, I'm going with the family to downtown Los Angeles, or I'm going to go take them to the zoo. You actually have to plan to say, well, that now, case in point, the i3 does offer the fact that you can see the charging stations on the way, and you could see exactly where you need a charging station. But wouldn't that alter your daily plan?
There are apps that do that exactly the same way. You know, you have apps that will find you the nearest charging station. But to your point, that's not going to solve the problem, because if you are stopping at Starbucks for coffee for half an hour.
Speaking of, I'm ready to get a cup of coffee.
It's not going to be enough time to give you a really big charge, maybe just a little bit. It's kind of like your phone. If you only have a few seconds to plug in, a few minutes, you're only going to get a little bit of a charge. But again, you have to think about long range. You know, people who own the Chevy Volt, they get 40 to 45 miles on pure electric, and then it kicks into extended range. A lot of the people that I talk to, the Volt owners...
How many Volts have you seen on the road?
I've seen quite a few, but hear me out. they really get a high out of telling you, bragging how long it's been since they've had to actually put gas in the car. They do. They get excited about that. It's like a game to them. And that car only has 40-mile range. Well, this thing has about 100. If you're buying a car because you want to use it for 200 miles at a time, don't buy this car. Even with the extended range, you're not going to recoup your money. Don't do it. Okay? This is a car for people who drive 60 or less miles a day, and that's the majority of the population.
Now, well, okay. So first of all, here in the U.S., people already have an issue with diesel. Okay. Now, people love their gas engines. How is America going to go electric? I mean, how do you change the mindset of somebody to buying an electric vehicle? I mean, how does somebody...
America is not going to go electric for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's not for everyone. Number two, have you seen any big SUVs or pickup trucks or minivans that are all electric? No. The reason is you can't make those vehicles light enough for them to be efficient to use all electric. Maybe one day that will come. The solution is not going to be one thing. It's not going to be just electric. You're going to have fuel cell, which is converting hydrogen to electricity to power vehicles. You're going to have hybrids. Toyota has dominated the hybrid market. We just drove the Honda Accord hybrid, 50 miles to the gallon in the city. You're going to have clean diesels. It's not going to be one solution. Natural gas, another very inexpensive solution that naturally occurring fuel in our environment. So it's not going to be one thing. It's not like you can say by 2020 it's going to be all electric. No, but by 2020 they're going to be probably over 50% of the new cars sold are going to be some sort of mix, either all electric, electric gas, hybrid, diesel, natural gas, but you won't see a lot of, I think there'll be less than 50% internal combustion engines by then. My prediction.
Don't you miss the sound of the engine? I mean, don't you miss the humming?
That's not the argument. Of course, sure. Give me a Corvette. I just drove a couple of V12s, an Aston Martin V12. Love it, but just look at where everything's headed. We're spoiled here. We have gas at under $4 a gallon. The rest of the world's laughing.
Well, the funny thing is that BMW does offer the does have the BMW M5 sound that they put on the M5, because the car is so insulated. How great would it be if they could offer as an option to have M5 noise inside the car?
They will.
So, when you're driving, you can just go ahead. Okay,
that's
here
coming.
Goes M5.
Yeah, that's coming. That's coming. We've already.
It's either
heard. They're going to be software companies, gaming companies are going to. That dashboard you have is going to become just like an iPad screen. And if you want Ferrari gauges, you've got it. With a Ferrari sound, you could do it. You want a diesel truck, you can have any sound you want. That's the cool thing about these cars.
I like the sound of that. All right, Ron. Thank you so much, buddy, for all your
inputs.
Thank you. No, thank you.